Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here with all of you today. I am Samar Farag, the EYFS principal of Summit's International Schools. Today we're going to talk about multiple intelligences. Did you hear about it before? Yes or no? Did you hear about it before? That's really good. So we have two objectives for the talk today. We're going to know as a parent, why is it important to know about my child's intelligence? The second thing, we're going to know what are the 8 multiple intelligences that's identified by Gardner. Are you ready to hear the talk? I want hands up. Hands up, I want hands up. That's really good. So, Gardner said, it's not how smart are you, it's how are you smart. What that mean? That we're all smart, but we are different. Let's look down at our shoes. Are we all wearing the same size of shoes? Are we? If I'm going to give you size of shoes, size 38, is it going to fit each and every one of you? For sure not. That means that my interest is different than your interest. That doesn't mean that you're not smart. It means that everyone is different. Do you agree about that? That's really good. So, before talking about the picture, I want to tell you something. Ready for the question? Okay, have you ever been in a social gathering and felt like you're the dumbest person in the game? Have you? For me, yes. All the time with my awesome team, because they love watching movies, catchphrases, and so on, and they're laughing about that, and I have no idea about what they are talking about. So sometimes I feel, why I'm not watching movies? Why I don't know anything about the fans and the catchphrases that they are saying and they are laughing about. But that means that I'm different. It's not my interest to watch movies. Right or not? Right or not? That's good. So let's look at the picture here. What we can see, that we can see someone who's sitting on a chair and in front of him different animals, right? What do you think if we ask the elephant to climb the tree? Will he get a good grade? Probably not, right? Does that mean that he's not smart? For sure not. Does that mean that he is a failure? No, it means that he is different. That's what we're doing with our kids. We're comparing them to others. And it doesn't mean that they are stupid. It means that they are different and they are smart, but in different areas. Do you agree about that? So here, as a parent, for you, why is it important to know my child's intelligence? I'm pretty sure that all of you are facing a lot of challenges and obstacles while you're doing the homework with your child, right? For me, yes. What about you? Yes or not? Yes. Why? When you're going to know what is the kind of your child intelligence, you're going to know how to tailor the lesson and how to teach your child by the way he loves, not by the way you used to. So it's totally different. You're going to know what is your child's strength points. When you know your child's strength points, you're going to make your child to master the skills more and no more frustration. What about the weaknesses points? You will know your child's weaknesses points. And by this way, you're going to work more on it. And the child will love what he's learning. And instead of forcing your child to do his homework, right or not? So, the child will be a lifelong learning. Your child will make much more success and achievements, and he will be creative because you're not forcing him in one box, right or not? No one agree with me about that? What about my team? Do you agree about that? That's really good. So let's move to the first type of multiple intelligence. Before talking about the visual intelligence, I just want to tell you what is the difference between the new ways of teaching and the traditional schools and the new schools. We used to, and traditional schools, to focus on the logical and mathematical intelligence. And we esteem the highly articulate people in our culture, right or not? And is that right? It's not right at all, because we should place equal attention on individuals who show interest in other intelligences. Like what? Like artists, designers, therapists. All of them are really good and they have gifts. But unfortunately, many schools ignore them and they have been labeled as they are underachievers, right or not? But they have intelligence, but in another area. It doesn't have to be mathematical and logical intelligence, right? That's really good. I don't know where is the mic, but it's here. So the first intelligence is visual intelligence. As you're here, all of you today, before talking about the child, for you, you're coming here to Child Expo. I am pretty sure that you heard about many schools before coming here, right or not? You're here to see by your eyes. What did the school look like? How does the team look like, right or not? So here it is the same for the child. When you're teaching the child, the family members, it doesn't have to be father and mother and sister and brother. It has to be a picture that shows the child how the mother look like, father, and so on. Because some kids are visual learning. They can't learn without seeing. And I'm sorry for that. We think that our kids are pampering and they don't want to learn or do their homework. That's not right. They are visual. So when you're talking about body parts, it doesn't have to be hands and mouth and that's it. Show him what the hand look like and how the mouth look like and his nose and so on. Did you get the point? And as you can see here in the picture, some kids are standing on the smart board and the teacher is showing them how the circle look like and the triangle look like because they are visual learners. Did you get the point? Okay. Let's move to the next intelligence. It's the musical intelligence. Some kids, they enjoy singing. For me, I'm not that kind of intelligence. Some kids enjoy singing and using musical instruments. So how we're going to integrate the musical intelligence to the academics part? Easy. For example, they are taking math concepts like counting. You're going to let them to hear a song for counting. The same for sounds. If they are taking sounds at school, they can listen to a song that's related to the objectives of the lesson, right or not? You can even integrate the math to the musical intelligence by letting the kids to count the drum beats, so they are using the drum and they are having fun, and at the same time you're integrating that to the math, right or not? That's really good. So let's move to the other intelligence. It's kinesthetic intelligence, the bodily intelligence. For me, I'm not somehow kind of bodily intelligence. I can't sit while doing something in my place. I love moving. You're forcing me when you're keeping me in my place. The same as the child. Sometimes we think that if our kids are moving, they are not well. We have to force them to sit on the chair to do their homework. You can't move from your place until you finish. That's not right. His intelligence, that while he's moving, he's learning. Why are you forcing him? That's normal, believe me. He's learning while he's using using his hands. So, for example, if you're giving him like mixing colors, let him to mix the colors by his hands instead of just telling him red and yellow gives you what, or to let him to listen to a song, let him to use it by his hand, because anything that the child do it by his hand, he will never forget it. For example, if they are taking math and you receive the newsletter from the school that they are taking numbers from 1 to 10, so how you're going to do it with your child at home? Put numbers on the floor and let him to hop on the numbers. By this way, it will be here in his memory forever, because you tackled his way of learning while doing that. It's easy, but the point that we have like the old way that we used to learn with, and we think that our kids will learn by the same way. Believe me, it's not. They have to learn while they're having fun, right or not? For sure, if you're having fun at something, are you going to excel more at this part or not? For sure, when you go to the kitchen and you feel like you're having the energy to cook, aren't you going to cook the best meal? Right? Yeah, if you are in a bad mood, are you going to cook anything for the family? For sure not. So it is the same for the child, and as we can see here, the girl is getting the milk from the cow, so she will never forget from her memory that we get milk from the cow. So, logical and mathematical intelligence. I'm not that kind of intelligence at all. For me, I hate math. I had many problems and fights with my mom when I was a child. And she's here, she was hitting me, she was yelling at me because I don't know anything about math. I don't like numbers. But that doesn't mean that I'm not smart. It means that I don't like numbers. So how are we going to tackle math in any other subject or by the child intelligence? For example, the child is reading a story. You can let him to count the characters in the story, right? What if you're a child loves math? While he's reading, he can sort out the animals. He can find the difference because they love comparing pictures. They love making experiments. As you, as parents, you're here, but I know, and I'm pretty sure of that, when you finish, you're going to go and ask about the school, and you're going to make votes for the school. Because some parents, they love numbers when they are going to go and tend to go to a school. They need to see like how many people vote for this school and how many for the other school, right or not? So some people are mathematical and they love everything in order and in numbers, right? That's really good. Linguistic intelligence. They enjoy reading, writing. So your child is going to receive a story. So he enjoys his time while he's reading a story. You can integrate that part to the math by counting the character, by counting the animals in the picture. So you're integrating it to another part. You can let the child to read to you a story, like a bedtime story before you go to bed, right or not? Because they remember really well what you have said and what they have read really well. So we should integrate this part of intelligence to the other types of intelligences. Interpersonal intelligence. Some parents, they are facing some problems at school because we have two kinds of characters. One who really loves to work in groups, and here is the interpersonal intelligence. They enjoy time while working in group. They love to socialize with others. When you give them a task, they want to work it in a center with a group and to lead the group. And this type of intelligence, by the way, I was like using to teach my friends, and I'm enjoying that part. Some kids, they can't learn individually. They love teaching others. So here, when the teachers and the parents at home, for example, the child is doing a homework or is telling you, like, he's telling you about how was his day, let him to express his feelings to the family members. So by this way, he's enjoying his time and he's learning more because this time, his type of intelligence. And as you can see here in the picture, one of the kids is leading the table and he's guiding the other, and he's really enjoying this time while leading his friends. He is the intrapersonal. That doesn't mean that my child is not smart, that my child is not well. That means that my child wants to work alone, independently. He doesn't love to work with his friends. That doesn't mean that my child is wrong. It means that I can work on the character, but he can excel more by this way. And this is his strength area. Here, as we can see in the picture, the child is sitting alone and he really focuses on what he's doing and he's enjoying his time. So as a parent, you can make the child, like, give him to make an experiment, and after that, to describe how did it go. Or, for example, to make a journal every day and to write how was his day. So by this way, you're making your child to work independently, and at the same time, you're making him to reflect on what he's doing. So you are integrating and combining this way to the other way of learning, right or not? So here, I'm going to ask you, how do you learn? For me, I'm going to tell you first, I'm not a mathematical intelligence at all. I don't like numbers. I am interpersonal intelligence and bodily because I can sit in my place and I'm visual as well. What about you? Who can raise hands? Mahmoud is going to tell me, what's your intelligence? Visual, that's really good. So let's all agree that we're all, time is up, that we're all is different. We're not the same. Everyone is smart. But let's see the way that my child loves to learn with and go through it. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Bye-bye.